and give it utility again because you built the right programmatic templates, I think will be the biggest outcome here.
That makes a lot of sense to me. And so, Luke, I know a little bit about your background at Maple, and working on, of course, EVM, and maybe also SVM. I know that Syrup USDC, that product is on EVM and SVM. If you could change one thing about how the broader DeFi industry approaches governance, now that you've built Cashen, what would that thing be that you would change about governance on other chains?
This is good question. I haven't thought about this very much, but I'll give it a go. I think a lot of the commentary I've read about governance is, it's not really a fair vote because there's always this,
Right.
the team always owns more than the quorum. So,
Exactly.
they just make the decision. It looks like it's a charade. Then there's, why is voter participation low? Which is the answer to, the team answers is like, well, if everyone votes, we're not the majority, but no one votes. So why do they not vote? I mean, too difficult, not aware, don't like the transparency, right? Who wants to vote in a room and put their hand up and everyone looks around and knows what your vote is? In public DAOs, there is pure transparency on everything. Canton solves this. There's actually a company that we work with, one of our featured apps that's called SyncVotes, and they built a DAO. Basically, you can create a public DAO with feature sets that are private. So if you want to do a proposal, because Canton does privacy at the most granular level, only members of the DAO can see the vote results. No one can. Certain people can. So you can configure that, and you can actually vote from any different wallet. It doesn't need to be a Canton wallet. So I thought that was a cool one when I looked at it because it solves some of what you just said. So just kind of tackling the root causes of under participation and kind of centralization of those who do vote. It's not just for DAOs, right? I mean, look at voter participation rates in different countries on elections. Like, you can get into this, and see, vote. We would love everyone to vote, right? It's a right of yours. You should expect it. But how do you do that in DeFi? That's one way, is just kind of tackle the core blockers.
Got it. Yeah, no, I agree. And a lot of the things that you mentioned about governance, those have been, problems on EVM and SVM for a long time. It looks like those are being solved for on Canton Network and mostly by Cashen. So what role do you want Cashen to play in the wider Canton Network as Cashen becomes the primary credit routing layer?
Yeah, I mean, I want to promote assets coming to the chain, which means build yield sources. That's one way. I think about this like there's two camps. This is one framing. There's a very long-term camp in Canton that's looking 5-10 years out, servicing banks. It's going to be the plumbing of everything, which is likely true. Then you have builders who have operated in DeFi and other chains that work more like on quarterly or 6-month cycles, and they don't have tenure. They're like gold, smart goldfish, and that's a little bit more. We sit in the middle, but we like to build things that people use now, right? So I look at it like, what are the things that could help Canton scale, faster right now? And it's more assets on chain, like more stable coins on chain. It's Canton coin liquidity, so that you can use the predominant asset, in a productive way to earn yield or borrow against it to do something else. So even just those two basic buckets, we are focused on creating incentives to bring your stablecoins over. So if we build a stablecoin yield vault and it earns, 7, 8, 9%, like, I feel like that's, and you're looking at Aave at 4, right? That's going to be, people are going to say, okay, it's worth bridging over there. So that's one way to do it.
I would love to be able to, use that vault and lever it up potentially, so I can go from 7, borrow at 3, apply some leverage. That'd be pretty cool. Let me ask you this. What's the most rewarding feedback that you've received so far from a featured app builder using Cashen?
All of it has been around the speed and the ease of the platform, which is a really good nod to the team that built the UX, the design of it. It's very intuitive. We built it so quickly, like we didn't even build like standard docs pages to like explain how to do it, because we looked at it and said, you should know how to use it. It's pretty easy, right? Like it's right there in your face. And we just said, all right, we're gonna just launch it, get it out, as early as we can, and it's intuitive. So I love that because we achieved that goal, right? It's not a complicated thing to operate, and the speed of onboarding and getting deals done is I would say is the number one. Really, right before we launched on June 10th, and we had 9 days till the featured app deadline, where existing featured apps, if they didn't lock tokens, they're going to lose their status. We onboarded in the last day on the 19th. We went from 100 million CC in deals to 205. So like, and that was 20 deals got done in a day, and 6 of them onboarded the same day, and they were shocked that that could be possible. So it's like the operating team, the onboarding team, everyone inside Cashen, like just really hustling to help out all these clients, and didn't drop one of them. Every single featured app that's ever needed a lock has got it done. So that's very rewarding for me.
That really is amazing, man. So I want to see, Mike, do we have any questions, any more questions from the chat on X? Anyone in YouTube that you want to throw up on the screen there? All right. Yeah. So, maybe a little bit about your background here, just real quick. So James Cena is saying that he saw that you worked at Maple. What experience did you take away from Maple that's helped you to build Cashen?
Yeah, a lot. So I ran cap markets at Maple for about 2 years before I did this and left in February. And I left because of the opportunity. Maple's a fantastic company. We scaled that business so aggressively. They have close to 5 billion TVL now. I think it was, when I was there, it started at 150 million, and we scaled it to 4 billion. And what did I learn to bring to Cashen was Maple's institutional. They loan stable coins to institutions, but they also set up permissionless vaults to attract capital. The institutional needs when you have a borrower, and importantly, that borrower is posting collateral, the requirements that institutions have and the rigor that they demand is really the biggest lesson to learn. This is not peer-to-peer, right? This is pool to business. And the business side has a ton of requirements. And if you don't understand the speed they work at, which is not always as fast as you want, and there's really no, you have to do it right, and you have to do it totally above board. So knowing that up front and setting it up that way just saves you a ton of time, and just being aware of like what an institutional client is. This is the compliance policy I mentioned. We didn't need to do continuous monitoring and full boat like bank level compliance, but you're going to run into that blocker later. So knowing that, you put it in place first, it's, never a problem.
Amazing. So, I got a question that I want to ask you just from what I'm building on Canton Network right now. Let's say that, I'm building a new dapp that I want to launch on Canton Network. And I've got I've got Cashen pulled up here. I think Mike's got Cashen pulled up. Let's say that I want to go through the process of renting governance requirements for my entity, right? How would I go about doing that? What's the process here? Can you walk us through the flow?
Yeah, so we put together this. We act as a resource for these new entrants. People, referred to us or find us when they're thinking about applying or during the application process sometimes. So we actually put together a resource here. So if you click on resources and guides on the website, we have a how to become a featured app, hopefully very intuitive to read guide that starts from setting up your party ID all the way down to you got a lock. So I would point you to the details. The guides in the middle. Exactly. So this is just the first guide we put up. Very quickly, the process is you need to apply to the Canton Foundation. There's a form that you fill out. You need to go in front of the committee, and they decide if your app is a real business, basically a real business or a farming app. Real business is the key. You need a lock, which most get them through Cashen. Once you have those things and you get approved, then there's a couple of requirements on, maintaining all the reporting requirements. But you start earning the key, why you become a featured app is because you want to earn part of the Canton coin network emissions. So they're emitting 62% of emissions are going to the app level, and you want a piece of that, and you get rewarded, basically pro rata for the activity on the network. So if you have a, very attractive business that users want to do transactions on, and you generate a lot of traffic spend, which is equivalent of gas, then you'll get rewarded for that, for basically the provider of that activity.
Real economic value. That's something that we always talk about when we're going through these deep dives on different protocols, chains, dapps, what have you. Now, you could, if you've got a lot of traffic on your dapp, you could just use that to pay your governance requirements on Cashen. You could just pay your monthly rental that way, right?
Oh yeah, I mean that. I would say the very successful ones are multiples of what it costs to rent the lock for sure. I mean,
Exactly.
the lock price is definitely not designed to. Yeah, it's a very attractive rate to pay to, versus what profit you should be able to make building the app.
Amazing. Well, Luke, thank you so much for your time today, man. This has been a lot of fun to chit chat about Cashen, learn more about it, and learn more about what it is that you're building. I think that this is going to become, it already is, the industry standard, man. So thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Anytime. Nice to see you again, and